So how do we live out our lives where we live? It's all very well going on mission trips, but actually how we live in wherever we're placed really matters. And we sort of love our village, so I don't really sort of see them as targets, but I just want them to know God's love as we do. And so we have had the privilege of various encounters here, which I'll just share a few with you. I suppose when we first arrived here, we had a lovely neighbour. They were renting the house next door to us, and I went round to see her and just to sort of welcome her, because we'd been there, I think, about a month longer than them. And I noticed that she'd broken her wrist, so I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry you've broken your wrist." She said, "Yes, it's awful. I've got an appointment for a very important, interview rather, for a very important job on Tuesday. I've got to type and I can't even use my fingers." So I said, "Well, look, can I pray for you? Jesus heals today, and maybe I could pray for you and he might heal you." So she said, "Oh, please do." So I prayed for her, and she felt this heat and warmth, and in walked her partner, who looked rather slightly uncomfortable, and I explained what we were doing, and then we all had a cup of tea, and I went home. Anyway, about 3 days later, it happened that we were having a gathering on the day that she had her interview. So at the end of the gathering, there was a knock on the door, and she came in absolutely jubilant. And, it's so wonderful when God does things, because there's no sort of holding back. And there were loads of people here, and she just rushed in and she said, I've been healed. My arm works perfectly. I was able to do my typing, and I got the job. And I thought, that's brilliant. Now, the truth is, I don't know if she's become a believer or not, but I know that she's got closer to God and that she knows that he loves her. And that's really important to us. I suppose another time, we had some people to supper about a year ago, just because we liked them. And about a few months ago, one of them rang up, actually texted and said, "Can we come and see you now?" So we thought, gosh, yes. So anyway, one of them came along, and she said, "Look, we noticed you said grace when you had us to supper, and so that probably means you know God, and we need help." So we said, "Yes, our help does come from the Lord. What can we do? We will be praying for you. That's the sort of help we can give." And they said, well, that one of them had had a diagnosis of cancer, and they were devastated, naturally. So we had the privilege of praying for them both, and one was completely filled with the Holy Spirit. The guy that was had the ordeal to go through of a chemo, and he wasn't healed physically, but he had the most amazing recovery, and they've become great friends with us. And sometimes when we feel a little bit lonely, we just go and knock on their door, and they're always good, and we have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, but we absolutely love them. So that's another sort of real friendship that's beginning here. When we have our gatherings, we've chosen to honour our local pub. We love the people there. I think they rather like us. And so that basically when we have events here, the people benefit. The people in the village benefit, and the pub benefits when we have our gatherings. And we're really pleased about that. Tonight we've got people coming in for a drink, 4 new couples to the village. We don't know any of them, but we just want to welcome them here and see if we can be any help to them as they settle in. I gather that one person said to us, "Do you want to know what people say about you in the village?" So we said, "Yes, what do they say?" And they said, "Well, they're rather over the top, but we think they're genuine." And we thought it was pretty good, really.